Hey, what are you up to over there?
Oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just building this new kill team I got. I spent all my money on it. It's pretty rad. Now we can finally play some kill team.
Oh, I love Kill Team. I'll be happy to play it with you. Do you have a big game board with lots of terrain pieces to play on?
Oh, we can't just play on the table. We need terrain pieces.
Yeah, you need like places for your figurines to hide and duck behind, and you need to have like objective points and all that sort of stuff. But I'm sure you can just go out and buy some terrain pieces.
But I spent all my money on the figurines.
Oh, you spent all your money on the figures, and now you don't have any for terrain. Well, good luck.
What if there was some way to get terrain and not spend any money on it?
Today I will be using 17th century techniques to create terrain pieces for a board game set in the 400th century. Believe it or not, I'm a nerd. I know it's hard to imagine, but I'm sure if you try hard enough, you can. As a nerd, I've done my fair share of cosplay. And back before 3D printers were commonplace and easy to find, we used to have to make our Iron Man suits a little bit differently. We actually used paper and a process called Papercraft to create a 3D object out of something you could print out. You see, the process is fairly simple. All we do is we create a 3D model and then we flatten it and print it out on a sheet of paper. We can then fold that sheet of paper back up into the 3D model. I was browsing DriveThruRPG and I saw some other people had done similar things, and I thought I might give it a crack. Maybe you might want to give it a try too. So I'm going to go over the process on how to create terrain pieces out of paper. So I decided to start out with a crate because a crate is really just a box, probably as simple as you can make it. So I decided to use a software called Blender, which is free and anyone can use it. I created a cube and I made it 25 millimeters in scale because I figured that a 25 millimeter cube would end up being about waist height on a Warhammer model. So the next part of the process is probably the most difficult to understand, but it's a fundamental of 3D modeling, and it's called UV unwrapping. Basically, you take that 3D model and you flatten it so you can add textures from an image onto that 3D model. I'm going to leave some links in the description for videos that taught me how to do it, and I'm sure they'd be useful in teaching you how to do it. I went to a website called textures.com, and textures.com has a lot of great images for just this exact purpose, and I found a really good one for a crate. I'm loading that image into Blender, and then I am selecting each face of the cube and I'm aligning it on the image so that the program can understand what part of the image it should display. And after a little bit of fiddling, I got myself a crate. This looks pretty sweet. Now, I'm going to import it into another free software called Papercraft Designer. Papercraft Designer does a process that's very similar to UV unwrapping, It's basically going to take the 3D image, or it's going to take the 3D model, and it's going to lay it flat. The other things it's going to do is it's going to add fold lines where that flat image was folded, and it's also going to add flaps so that we can glue it together once we print it out. And there we go. After we print it out, a little bit of arts and crafts with the scissors and a little bit of super glue, we got ourselves a little crate. And it turned out just perfect in size. Just kind of right up to the waist level, perfect for getting just a little bit of cover. Nice. Well, I was scrolling through textures.com, I saw this image, and I thought it would make a really cool jersey barrier. So I repeated the process, and I made this little guy. This little jersey barrier. I decided that I needed a control panel or something that could make a good objective point, so I designed one of those too. That little guy. And I got even more complicated, and I made like a chemical vat. Whoa. Next, I tried to make some walls, and honestly, these walls turned out all right. They're kind of wonky though, and they don't really stay upright, and they were a real pain in the butt to assemble. So I decided to scrap those and go with a much simpler plan. And I took blank index cards, and in Photoshop, I just laid out some images from textures.com to make a wall piece like this. And then these are the standee bases that you can get on Amazon for pretty cheap. If you don't have the standee bases, I made another version of the wall where you can just fold the bottom out like that, and then that guy will sit upright. I think this is a super fun project, and anybody can do it, and I hope you guys are inspired to try something like this. I'm going to leave an affiliate link to DriveThruRPG in the description below, and it will bring you to a page full of other paper models, and I'd highly recommend checking out DriveThruRPG. They have a lot of awesome independent creators on there making things like paper terrain and all sorts of other adventure paths, war games, all sorts of things. Definitely worth a look out. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and then join the village by subscribing. We'll see you later.